Welcome to the stage for the second time in a row, our very good friend, the one and only Mr. Micky Rooney. Hey!
But somebody came running across and said, you know, Frank Sinatra just got back in town. And he used to be staying when he was playing at the Palladium there with Tommy Doris's orchestra in Hollywood on Sunset Boulevard there. That's all the big bands play. Artie Shaw and Tommy, Jimmy Dorsey, Benny Goodman. They all played there. Glenn Miller. And they said, Frank's back in town. And, you know, and I wasn't oblivious about the great hit that he had made at, you know, in New York City with the Bobby Sockers, you know, and whacking around. And so I ran around. I said, gentlemen, would you excuse me a minute? I want to go call my friend. Because he was staying, we were going at the Bublitsky restaurant on Sunset Boulevard one night. It was my wife, Ava Gardner, at the time, and Frank. And he kept saying that he was talking about Nancy or something. It was his wife. And I said, that's not right, Frank. Come on, now stop it. And he was staying at the Hollywood Hotel. They had the Hollywood Hotel. And he was staying with one of the trombonists in the band. And we were all going to dinner, and he didn't have a white shirt. So I gave him one of my white shirts, and he put it on. We all went to dinner. And we were close friends. So I rushed in across the golf course when I heard he was in town, and I said, hello, where's Mr. Sinatra staying? And I called somebody that knew how to get the number. He says, where? At the Garden of Allah? The Garden of Allah. That was the big hotel. Errol Flynn had his private apartment there and everything else. I mean, this was really upper class. Frank going from the Hollywood Hotel, you know, $12 a night for a room, you know. So I called up, and she says, hello, Garden of Allah. They always have those obsequious voices, you know. Garden of Allah. Like you're supposed to say, oh, that's supposed to. So I said, this is Micky Rooney. I said, may I talk to Mr. Sinatra? Oh, who's calling? I said, Micky Rooney. I said, Micky Rooney. Oh, just a moment, please. And finally, somebody got on the phone. Yeah. I said, Frank? Tell it. Who's calling him?
Hello.
God's truth. I said, this is Micky Rooney. May I speak to Frank Sinatra, please? Just a minute. Puts his hand on me. Hi, Frank. I said, Micky Rooney over there. I shall play the he'll be right here. Hi, Mick. Frank! Baby, you made it. I heard about you arriving in Glendale and the 7,000 Bobby Sockers around. Like we sat on the side of the car at Metro, what was it, 2, 3 years ago? 2.5 years ago. And now here you are on top of the world. I said, gotta see you, babe. I'm so proud of you. Gotta see you. I said, when can we have dinner? How about, what about Wednesday? Well, I'm not going to be able to make it then. I said, let me talk to Frank Sinatra. May I, please? And he'd forgotten our friendship completely. And I couldn't believe it. But I straightened it out later on. And I found him to be a very, despite the fact that he had all of the greatest career in the world that was handed to him. This kid from Hoboken, who unfortunately didn't have a happy marriage. I certainly know what that feels like. It's like a 5-car crash. Everybody gets hurt. What, me? Married? You and I were never married. What are you talking about? I hear everything, honey. No, I know that. I've been married eight times. 8. Why, there are people, darling, that are right here in Las Vegas that have been married 10, 12 times. But they don't print it in the newspapers. See? Well, that I know. Thank you, sir. But I got news for you. It doesn't happen a lot of times. My first wife, in fact, Frank and I became brother-in-laws because he married Ava Gardner after we divorced. Artie Shaw married Ava too. So we 3 are brother-in-laws. But old Blue Eyes there is back with his son, thank God. I could never figure that out. It's so tough to be Frank Sinatra Jr. My God, that is really tough, Pete. And Harry, that's tough, being Frank Sinatra Jr. I ought to know. I've got a Micky Rooney Jr. And you should see that. This young, he's 52 years old. And he's 6'3". Yeah. And they've all got hair. I'm the only one in the family that's bald. His brother's 43. And then there's Teddy, Kerry, Kyle, Kimmy Sue, Jonelle, and Jimmy. And Teddy, she's hair down to here. With the group he's playing, just like the group you were talking about. No, baby. Pete was so right. My God, the reason for that is because they don't want you to understand the lyric, because they don't understand it themselves. But the fact is that Frank and I became the best of friends. And we understand each other. Now, Frank, unfortunately, was now married to Barbara, Zeppo's wife. Barbara Sinatra is so beautiful and lovely, and I think Frank has really found his real happiness. And isn't it funny and strange I should be talking about it? But right next, here I am on the stage, Frank is here, and Ava is there. Did somebody plan?